Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the inaugural episode of Superintendent Unplugged, In Depth with Davis, the podcast where we'll dive deep into the world of educational leadership. I'm your host, Addison Davis, and I'm thrilled to have you join me as we embark on the inspiring journey together. As a superintendent once myself, I understand the challenges and complexities that come with leading a school district. But what I've come to realize is that there's abundance of amazing work being done by superintendents all across our country. This podcast is a platform to shine a spotlight on their incredible accomplishments and innovative approaches. Each episode will bring you exclusive interviews and superintendents from various districts across our country, both big and small, urban and rural, as they share their personal stories, triumphs, and even their moments of vulnerability. We will explore the strategies they employ to tackle the ever-evolving landscape of education, from fostering equity and inclusivity to embracing technology and preparing students for their future. But this podcast isn't just about showcasing success. It's about fostering a community of educational leaders who can learn from one another, share their experiences, and collectively navigate the complexities of our role. We'll discuss the tough topics as well, the difficult decisions, and the innovative solutions that are transforming education for the better. So while you're an educator, a parent, a student, or simply someone who's passionate about education, this podcast is for you. Superintendents Unplugged is your behind-the-scenes pass to the world of educational leadership, where we uncover the stories that inspire, motivate, and empower every one of us. Get ready to be inspired, challenged, and entertained as we embark on this incredible journey together. I can't wait to introduce you to the remarkable superintendents who are changing the educational landscape one district at a time. Welcome to another episode of Superintendents Unplugged, In Depth with Davis. I'm Addison Davis, your host, and today we have an opportunity to talk to Lori Gonzalez, the superintendent of Lamont Elementary School District. Welcome so very much. Thank you for being here. Out of California, we're here at AASA doing some cool things, understanding how to get better, share our stories. But thank you for what you do every single day.
Aw, thank you. And thank you for this opportunity. It's so nice of you to reach out, and I love to tell my story.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's the best way. I always say, if you don't get your narrative out there, someone else will do it. And it's usually not nice or
Absolutely.
right. So thanks for that
No
invitation.
worries. In the superintendent world, you just said it well. You know what? No one gets to really hear the really good things that we get a chance to sensationalize for kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've been a superintendent for 5 years and a year and a half in your new space.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? One thing you've come in and done a really cool job with bringing the community together and have a holistic approach about really accelerating learning. So talk about, you know, this new grant that you championed and become and embedded in your school district with the community school grant. You know, what does it look like and what are you doing to be able to help moments and just not only develop the whole child, but develop the whole family?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for that question. So I'm a USC current candidate for my doctorate degree. I will be finishing up.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yes, I'll be defending my proposal, actually not proposal, the actual dissertation next month. But through that studies, I really learned about culturally responsive school leadership. And part of that framework is one of the cogs there is community. And I firmly believe that community is so important to education. You know, as you know, schools serve as a hub, right? Districts serve as a hub of the community and vice versa, and especially in a rural unincorporated community like Lamont. And so California has the California Community Schools Grant, and we went after it and got over $8 million for it.
Wow.
This is the second round.
Wow.
With that money, there has to be very intentional recruitment and encouragement of partnerships with entities within the community, but also your families, and you know, what can you provide for them? As you know, again, and especially in rural schools, you know, some of these communities don't have these resources, so we provide that. And I'll tell you, I'm so incredibly honored and just so proud of what we just recently did. This week alone, we launched the first ever in the region telehealth wellness center at all of our sites.
So much needed.
Yes. And so we are working with telehealth docs. It's been a year and a half worth of work. And trying to figure out how to navigate both the MOUs and the contracts and all the legalities, but then also, can this really work? And so we will have multilingual doctors through innovative technology at every single site.
Celebration.
All morning. Yeah, absolutely. All morning, kids and their families will be able to go in and get these services,
Wow.
get both referrals and prescriptions if needed. And most importantly, back in the classroom as quickly as possible to learn. Because if you don't have healthy kids, you're not going to have any learning to take place.
You know, we're talking about creating a psychologically safe place for kids every single day.
Absolutely.
And so many of our kids, I mean, while we think our practitioners that we have on the ground that are clinical practitioners, that are therapeutic practitioners, there's not enough counselors. There's not enough, teachers that have time and accessibility to meet the needs. One thing that COVID exposed is there's a great need for us to really connect with children. They're going through so much, whether it be through traumatic experiences, physical experiences, social experiences. It's all penetrating the classroom. Thank you for your forward thinking about that process. So if I'm a student and, in your school district, how do I sign up? How do I engage?
Yeah.
What does that look like for superintendents that may be watching this? Because it's a really cool, innovative space.
Yeah, you know what? And that's one of the things in coming to Lamont, for me, it's really important to build community even within your district, right? And students are a huge component to that. And so student voice is central. And you're right about mental health. Mental health is crucial right now. And listening and learning from the students and what they need is so important. So one of the things that I've done is I've established a superintendent student council advisory. And so I have kids come in once to twice a year.
Wow.
We sit together, all grade levels. So I have preschool through 8th grade. Every school site chooses students, and we get to engage and talk. And, through that talk last year is why some of the changes that happened this year. One of the biggest thing is really creating our learner profile and our framework for the future and delving into what are their needs, what do they want. So technology, mental health services, extra and co-curricular activities, opportunities and experiences that they may not be able to have. And so listening to student voice is huge. Listening to community voice is huge. So really opening it up to our parents. That's the other thing we're doing is having a lot of opportunities for parents to not just participate in the regular, we have DLAC here in California or school site councils, but having other opportunities for parents to engage with me. So I have what we call the cafecito with the superintendent. So coffee with the superintendent, where I open it up to parents. Come in and talk to the superintendent and listen up. And I do the same thing actually with my organizations in there, my associations. And so I have time with my teachers association and my classified association to come in and talk to the superintendent, tell me what their wishes, their dreams, their hopes and aspirations for. And then we built upon that. So really excited. We unleashed our framework for the future. And within that, we have
what does that look like?
So what that has, it's amazing. So what we have
as
is
you can see, so much passion, so much excitement, loves her job, ready to go. This is awesome.
Yeah, someone just asked me that. She was like, how long have you been the superintendent? And I was like, 5 years. Like, and you still love it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I do. And I love it because I'm doing what I missed out.
That's right.
As an immigrant child, who really didn't have. I was very socioeconomically extremely poor. My parents gave me the basics, but it was a beautiful, loving home. But school was my refuge. And so I go into it in the same way. Like how many other children are in our school systems that's what we are. We're their refuge. And not just meals, but, and the learning and the opportunities that they get. And just the opportunity for voice and choice. And so anyway, going back to my framework for the future, it includes the learner profile. Which really dictates what it is that we want, what we believed. We gathered a group of what we call our guiding coalition of teachers, classified staff, students, parents, leadership, and community members and board members. And we decided what it was that we decided what we needed, what our students needed to be, right? What we feel after educating them through the 9 years in Lamont, what are they going to come out with? So that's a learner profile, then a learning model. So what does our instruction look like? And it's pace. So it's got to be personalized, authentic, competency-based, and equitable and inclusive.
Love
and so
that.
Based on that, then we have what we call our pillars of success. And so we have 4 pillars of success that name how we are going to achieve that. And those pillars of success are really our strategic plan and how we're moving forward from addressing the whole child. So back to your social, emotional, and all other needs, academic, and so forth. And then you have investing in our team, which is all your professional learning and professional development for everyone, not just teachers, but also our classified staff. And then we have obviously academics. And so, yeah, so it's a beautiful thing. You can go on my website and see it, and it's amazing. I'm very proud of what we've done. And I think the most important part was revamping the mission, the vision, and the values.
Yeah.
Because as a superintendent, if I don't have anything that I can say, here's what I'm going forward with, this is what I need to be able to establish my goals on as a superintendent, then I can't go back to my, my board and say, hey, either check, or hey, this needs more work.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So going to, a lot of cool things going on. For those who are getting ready to transition to a new role or aspire to go into a superintendency, any advice you'd give them?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is my second stint, right? As a superintendent, and you grow,
bless you and thank you.
and you grow with each one, right? Like you really do grow. Well, you should grow. I always say that if you're not learning, you're not growing, and therefore you're dead. And so, that's kind of my thought. But, I think the thing I learned the most in this round has been what I call my listening, learning, and leading and loving campaign. So you have to listen. You have to learn. You're still going to lead, right? Because you're there. You're there for a reason. Sometimes you don't want to make those decisions right away, but sometimes you have to. But you have to love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, you're going to really struggle. And so you have to find that passion every single day. So my hashtag is lead with love.
Oh, I love it.
I really believe that we've become a society and a culture of not demonstrating that we love each other. And that's right. Like the worst thing.
That's right.
Our kids need to see the love. Our faculty needs to see the love, everyone. And sometimes you have to have very difficult, courageous conversations.
Sure.
But as long as they leave with humility and dignity,
that's right.
You know that you've done it right.
That's right.
And so I would say my biggest just advice would be is listen, don't jump the gun too soon. Traditions are hard to change.
They are.
But if you give the data and you give the why, that's very important. And then I would say the biggest advice I have is that have time together with your board and with your leadership.
That's
and,
right.
and in all your stakeholders, to be honest with you, your educational leaders, is what's the why?
Yeah.
If you don't have a central why, you're going to be lost.
Listen, change. You said it well. Change is hard. No matter where you go and what you do, change is very difficult to implement. But you have to do it through people, and
That's
you
right.
have to be able to understand that change is emotional for everyone.
Absolutely.
So how do you create those spaces? How do you give explanation for why? What's the foundations of it? And really, how does it align to what you're trying to accomplish every single day?
Absolutely.
So, thank you so very much for being with me today. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being a champion. You know what? I see you're here. Your team's here.
Yeah,
you're excited to be here.
Yeah.
So, again,
great time.
Yeah, thank you and best of luck. Look forward to watching you continue to do cool things.
Thanks.
Today you hear it from Lamont Elementary School District. We have Lori Gonzalez, who has done a really nice job of actively engaging communities, putting thoughtful time to be able to engage with students through her council, but more importantly, being able to be a holistic approach for helping children accelerate inside and outside of the classrooms and really focus on the whole family. For superintendents out there, this is all very important on our plates. We look forward to seeing you next time with Superintendents Unplugged, In Depth with Davis.